about the retirees. I'll start with, I appreciate your perspective, brother. And, at Local 31, we have a very active retiree group. They meet in our hall, they meet monthly. We have a lot of interaction with them. They're very involved. I wasn't unaware that it's a big gap, but I'm proud to take those issues forward. I think the first and foremost is we got to find some people that can create the liaison to that, and people that are going to organize the retirees as a whole, if that's the group that you're looking to serve beyond just retirees. I know in Local 31, we are challenged with getting people to participate once they do retire in terms of paying their continued dues. But I think that's the first place, and I think it needs to get education, and we need to take the voice, because you're still a 7th District member, and we need to take it back to DC, and I'd be more than willing to sit down with the retiree groups, not just 27, 31, but those respective who wants to. And let's try and move it forward and try and get something done so we can keep that participation and all that experience and history with the active members. The second piece was about being top heavy. There's a process for us to change that if we choose, and that's the convention for. It's about the people. So if the 7th District feels as a whole that we need to move something forward, that's what this office is about. So we work as a group, we create whatever. On the road, I've heard term limits, I've heard all kinds of suggestions, but I talk about we have to go through the process and we have to take it to the convention floor. There's ways that we need to do things, and we need to make sure we're doing it right.
So Jim, good to see you here. Thanks for being here, brother.
Sure.
All right. Well, I think the retiree conundrum with membership is always going to confront us. Some members, when they leave, it becomes more difficult to pitch in, even at a 50% rate. So what we tried to do in the Washington State Council of Firefighters was find ways to connect with the retirees without getting into their pocketbook. One of those things was extending the license plate to where we could continue to communicate with them. When they got the license plate, we got their email, we can start to communicate more with them. That's just email. I'm on the mailing list to get some of our legislative updates, got them on the list to get some of these other communications that we use at the state council level. Now, having said that, the IFF level, we went further and we had the Alumni Association was created. And this district was a part of, I believe Ricky Walsh was a big part of that, the genesis of that, or at least putting it together.
It was Paul Harvey.
Oh, okay. Well, I knew it was the 7th District, so yeah. I'll take that. All right. So having the Alumni Association. Now, I don't know how much more we can do at local levels where it really starts. When somebody puts in the retiree papers, that's where it really starts. When they get ready to leave, we want you to be a part of this association. Now, it becomes difficult as well because the interests of retirees sometimes are different than those of the active members, but to have a voice. And I think both of us have been talking about all of our members having a voice, retired or not. So keeping those people before they leave and get disconnected from their union, to get them to sign off on, even if it doesn't cost them, per capita payments, but keeping them involved with the local union by sharing an email, sharing a phone number, keeping them on an address. Members don't want that. So I will advocate for retiree representation, having retirees involved, and as you went through here in the last half a dozen years with issues with retirement here in Washington, it's incumbent upon us, and I know that Dennis Lawson has been very active in working with yourself, Dick Warbrook, and others, trying to keep us together so that we don't get fractured as an organization, a fraternity of firefighters when it comes. So, we had our hiccup there, became kind of divisive. I take responsibility for that. Tough time, but we've gotten through it, and we're communicating, and now I think Dennis is going to carry that on and continue to have that open dialogue to protect the pensions of all firefighters in the state of Washington. And the top heavy part, I think probably on paper it appears, because everybody has these titles that assistant to the general president, and there's a number of them, and then there's below that level. And I think as long as we're being effective at what we do at the international, those don't matter as much as performance. You know, I don't know what that number would be, but each one of these divisions has, you know, an assistant that reports directly to the general president, and then they have directors within that structure underneath the AGP. So the organizational chart, if you will, may look a little top heavy, but I think it's set to provide services, and we continue to add services as an international union. And the only way we add services is when at the convention, our membership decides that they want to add. And we've got a new wildland fire director there. Rick Swan's been doing that work. He comes in as a director, you know, so it kind of sounds top heavy, but, you know, his role isn't, you know, up there at the very top. So I think the structure, I believe it works the way it works now, and we're very effective at providing the services. Imagine if they want to change names and change titles and flatten that structure or stretch it out, they could do that. But I don't see the need. So I hear what you're saying. I appreciate you bringing it up, but I haven't experienced that since I've been there with having at the couple of board meetings I've been to.